Hello. Hi. Hey there. Welcome. I. Wait. No spoilers. No spoilers. The video on the new mechanics, the spawning mechanics, have been doing quite well, so I decided I needed to do a follow up. Now, let I just saw a little bit. Let's look up what we have down there. Alright, and I run the test a few times, and well, this is one of them. Colorful. Yeah, for this I used a different color for different mobs. So for example, the purple here are Enderman. Oh, the red are witches, lime creepers, black are spiders, white are skeletons, and then you won't see any here. But all the way on the top here, green, are zombies. But yeah, you'll see that there's only green at the very top, where it's considered to be the surface. There's no green over here, only lime. Yeah, looking at this, let's do this. Oh, this looks awesome. Now you'll see, let's go here, settings. Simulation distance, I put all the way to 12 chunks. And I've done this several times, and the spawning range seems to always be the same. So far I found that on the level here, where the player is standing, spawning goes from 24 blocks away all the way to 54. There's some stragglers here and there, like you'll see, usually Enderman. So maybe they are teleporting around when the command picks them out. You see Enderman. There's one creeper here. Where everything else just seems to be Endermen that are spawning outside. Now I did mention on the previous video that there was a strange cluster in the south. I haven't seen that happen again. Look, you can see here. It's all, it seems pretty even spread. But as I mentioned, yeah, I thought that was probably a fluke. And yeah, that's what it seems like it was. But now you may be wondering, what does this all mean? Do mob farms now work in Bedrock? And well, to me it seems the answer, rather short answer, is yes, but remember, it's still Bedrock. That means we still have a mob cap. We still have some despawning issues, for example, with drowned. But yeah, the mob farm seems to be able to work. And we can see that soon without having to do the perimeter as before. But just remember, it is Minecraft Bedrock. We have a mob cap that's very limited. If you're playing on a realm or a server and there's more players, then although the mobs that you are loading and the mobs that the other person are loading will count to the mob cap and will drastically reduce how much a mob farm will produce. Moving on, other things you should consider. if you're planning on building a mob farm in your world, whether it be a realm, server, or a single player, try to stay away from the ground, especially not be all the way down at the ground and your spawning area covers caves, and then mobs stay in there, they don't despawn, and you're over here then trying to get mobs to spawn and nothing's happening. Some things. I would also try to keep this away from the ocean. I don't know about you, but I found myself flying through the ocean, above the ocean, and looking down and seeing all those eyes staring back at me from drowned. Yeah, drowned never despawn. They'll just stay around having fun. So, my advice, I would try to keep it away from the ocean, so you don't get a chance of spawning drowned. When the whole ocean full of drowned, loading those drowned, and this not working. The farm not working. So with that in mind, you see all of this. This is, you can say it's sort of artificial how many mobs here, because the commands kill the mobs right away. When a mob spawns, kills it, places the blocks and kills it. And that makes the game start spawning even more. If we were standing here and we're just letting the mobs collect, you'll only get a few. You also have the density cap, so you won't be getting a massive amount of mob spawning. But bear in mind, if you're building a mob farm, you need to get rid of the mob cap as soon as possible. And so with that in mind, I have a sort of mob farm that I've been working on. I don't think it's complete. It's kind of to show, no, it's a concept. It's a concept for a mob farm. So let's see, I think that if we fall down here really fast, we can make it to the other world. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, and I think we're here. Yeah, this is starting to look different. Yeah, there we go. So this concept is for a piston tape mob farm. We already have one Mr. Spider here waiting. Hey, Spider. Come on, sit down. See, work in progress. Spiders still can get stuck in here. They do eventually fall, but they can get a bit stuck. Right, here we go. This is kind of the module. It is an expensive farm. Very expensive. Oh, there you go. It is based on the concept of the shifting floors. You have one line of stone, one line of soul sand. Soul sand is a tiny bit lower than the rock, so the mobs will glitch through. Spiders don't, because they're, well, bigger. So I started off looking at the shifting floors farm from El Mango for Java. And if you've seen it, so if you've seen the Java mob farm from El Mango on shifting floors, you'll see that it's one line of stone, one line of soul sand. Look, actually we can see it work. There we go. And then, okay, so back to this. You have this, you have pistons that'll move it back and forth. But his has trapdoors like this. Just to this. So this Java farm goes like this. But that doesn't work in Bedrock. Mobs won't spawn on this in Bedrock. So that's already something that needs to change. In Bedrock, you usually need a 2x2 space for mobs to spawn, since they spawn in the northwest corner. That design already, not only will they not spawn on this, they need a bigger space to actually spawn on. Hi, Mr. Creeper. Why are you not falling? Come on. Just fall. There we go. There's a concept. It's still progress. They fall eventually, but sometimes they can get stuck for a bit, and the point is getting them out faster. Now, so return to this. Now this already doesn't work. So we need at least a space this size for mobs to spawn, which changes how you push back and forth the floors. So I thought, why not do then piston fit tape? As you can see, it makes for 2 floors. And it right now is just set up here to a redstone clock at 3 ticks. This is actually the fastest you can put it on. If I put it faster than this, I haven't seen that the mobs actually spawn if it's faster. Now how well would this work on a server or a realm? That's to be tested, because, well, many pistons firing at the same time can cause quite a bit of lag. Although you can see they are. These here fire first, then these here, and then over here. So then they don't all fire at the same time, but almost. So I put this to the test already, and I actually compared it to the flush farm, and I can show you in a minute in another world. Now we've already gotten a few more drops, but the drops are quite good. So you see, mobs are already spawning here. That's why I say, keep away from the ground. I mean, you can light it up, you can do a smaller perimeter but it's, if you're spending time on the ground under your farm, mobs will start spawning. You'll still be loading them because they are still in the ticking area. But just be mindful of that. If mobs stop spawning here, then you probably spent too much time down there. And this is a flat world, so we don't have any caves, but it's even worse if you have caves. You just be mindful of that. Kill everything. Now everything is gone. Now something keep in mind. It's always good for servers and realms to have a regular cleanup, like cleanup of mobs, because if you leave mobs all around the world, it'll eventually cause lag. Usually you can do that changing. You can change your game to peaceful. Mobs will despawn, fly around, all good. You can also have command blocks that can do that for you. But that's a practice. And if you want to do an AFK session, it would be nice to do it, to schedule it around that cleanup of mobs in your server, a realm, even single player game. Alright, so right now we are in a different world, and this is where I did a test for the flush farm. You'll stand in your AFK spot, and oops, I think I actually broke something here last time I was here. Okay, all fixed. So this is kind of the typical flush. Stand in your AFK spot. Let's just make sure everything's dead. Give it more chance to spawn. Now before 1.11, if you tried a mob farm, even in a creative world, without having to do perimeter, most likely that wouldn't have happened. You wouldn't have seen anything at all. You could have just stood here, waiting, and nothing would happen because the mobs were all just spawning down there. So as you can see, typical flush. Water is to a clock. The mobs will start to spawn, gather there, and then be flushed. And this is a great design. It's very cheap, very easy to build. And if I were you, I'll still do something like this. The concept farm that I made, it's quite a bit more expensive than this. Although actually before more mobs start falling here and gathering more, I did do an hour test and got all this minus the bucket and minus a few of the things that just fell. But again, this is not bad, especially for, look, there's no perimeter whatsoever. This would have never happened before 1.11 and the new spawning. So good, this is not bad at all. These farms work great. They're not as productive because you have to wait for all the flush system, and you have to wait for the flushing, the water to come up, mobs to come to the border and fall. You have to collect everything down there. So they're great, but the rates are lower. than if you were to do something faster. Now let's jump. There we go. Now let's jump back into the other world. Okay, here we go. Now, I also did another test for this for an hour. And minus the few drops that you saw happen while we were here, we got all this. So, 2 stacks of gun flesh, stack of arrows, a stack of bones, almost 2 stacks of gunpowder. So the rates on this were actually higher. They weren't, I don't know if they were that much higher. Just because again, this farm the purpose of the farm is to get rid of the mobs. Send the mobs to their death as soon as possible. They spawn. The theory is they spawn, they glitch through, they fall, they die, on and on. You don't have to wait 4 o'clock to get water running, flush them all out, fall, spawn again a few, and on and on. As I said this, I think 3 ticks is the fastest it can go. I tried it faster and mobs were not spawning, so we can do that. And now it all went crazy. You see, no, it's all. We'll fix that. I did not make a backup. I should have made a backup. Should have made a backup anyway. Sub 1, you see it went crazy. At 2 ticks, it'll be better, but mobs don't spawn. Let's actually do this. The mobs, yeah, they won't spawn. It's going too fast. But at 3, they actually start spawning. So there you go. So I said, this is a concept farm. It is, like I said, quite expensive. So you might as well just do the other farm. It's the rates are still very good. The rates on the other one is still very good. And it's much cheaper than this. This farm, yeah, you have 4 rows. On just this module, you have 4 rows of pistons. All the rock, all the soul sand, all the fences. But this is, yeah, quite expensive. Obviously the idea is you'll build several of this around you, because just one, you have, just one is not as effective. You have less production, much less production. But like I said, this, all the mobs have you seen spawning here and falling, and there's no perimeter, you would have never seen that before 1.11. Before 1.11. Alright, I think that's it for this one. I wanted to show up the concept, wanted to show that mob farms can work in Bedrock now. But like I said, it does have some is it caveats? Okay, whatever. Yeah, it does have some things because we're still in Bedrock. There's still a mob cap. If you're loading mobs, then you only have, let's say the world mob cap is what, 200. So if you're on a realm server, these things work less effectively because of all the players loading mobs. They usually work best if you're the only one at the moment, or if by any chance the other person or other people are not loading any mobs, which will be quite strange. Usually they do. Try to stay away from the ground, from caves. I will still maybe do a small perimeter on the ground. If you're gonna be high up in the sky, maybe about 54 blocks wide. Since, like I said, at the player level, it seems the mob spawning seems to go from 24 to 54. And that's it. If I'm thinking of trying this out in the Snellcraft server. If you'd like to see that, just comment right down there. Let me know if you'd like to see it. That's it. Alright, take care. Bye.